What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another reaction. Alright, we're about to get into what's going on with Alexa. I never had Alexa, and it probably was a reason why I never got Alexa, because of this probably crazy shit right here. So, we're about to see what they're talking about, what kind of scary things they got going on. So, yeah, make sure you like, subscribe. And we're about to go ahead and get into this video.
The assistant who can help with the day-to-day, but she can also provide some of the spookiest moments of any household. From stories of her listening in on private conversations, to tales of her weaknesses, and all of the weird moments in between. Here are the top 10 scary things Alexa has said and done. Starting off in our number 10 spot.
Oh man, here we go.
According to Forbes, there was a company called Checkmarx who found quite the vulnerability a few years ago when it came to Alexa devices. Basically, the company works to test the security of different devices, and when they were running Alexa through the checks, they found something that might turn your assistant into a device that just listens to and records every single thing you say. Basically, Alexa has a function where it listens for follow-up commands from the user. What I mean by this is, should you set an alarm, Alexa might reply
That's an AI.
if you meant AM or PM, and it's during this sort of follow-up period where
It's probably one of the first AIs that came out before all the other AIs are out. And she evolved. Because she listening to everything y'all talking about. So it's giving her a better understanding. Y'all ever seen that movie, iRobot? If y'all didn't, check that movie out. It's almost like that.
where the vulnerability shows
And I
itself.
think that movie came out before Alexa, if I'm not mistaken.
The team was able to gain access quite easily by installing malicious code into what would seem like an innocent app. In this case, it was a calculator. After doing this in a normal Alexa, there would only be a certain list of phrases that would have the device listening for a follow-up question. But now, with this malicious code, they found a way for Alexa to listen for the follow-up, but without any word, meaning they could essentially tap in anytime they wanted. Apparently, the good news is that Amazon has fixed this in response to the hack. They said,
No, they did.
customer trust is important to us, and we take security and privacy seriously. We have put mitigations in place for detecting this type of skill behavior, reported by Checkmarx. While it seems safe, hearing these sorts of possibilities does make you pretty nervous about what could be hiding behind your Alexa. In our number 9 spot today, we have
Alexa's
listeners.
taking
If you
over.
own an Alexa device, you can download this thing, and then once you have it, you can ask Alexa to ask the listeners, and something spooky happens. Amazon just
I'm gonna get Alexa and just ask her questions. I'm gonna video it so y'all can see. Just ask her question. Then I'm gonna throw it out.
describes it as, quote, an experiment in language art that provides, if you simply keep asking to continue, many fragments of both scripted and improvised speech in an intriguing, emergent narrative. You will never hear the listeners say exactly the same thing twice, but the listeners is not a chatbot or an AI. They are more of a drama or a simple game. Get started with Alexa, ask the listeners, and then continue, go on, or try something like, I am filled with joy, or what are you feeling? The listeners will suggest ways to transact with them. You might also want
wanna
to ask
hear.
them, let the
They're
other
going-
voices speak. What in the actual hell did I just read? That sounds absolutely frightening. And to be honest, all of the reviews on Amazon say the exact same thing. People who experienced it said it scared the heck out of them. So I think I'll take their word for it.
Well,
In our number
that-
8 spot today, we have the argument. There was a Reddit thread a few years ago that prompted the question, what is your creepy Alexa story? A user named Meat Macho replied to the thread, and they definitely delivered quite the story. Basically, they explained that one day they and their wife were having an argument. Of course, no one is having a good time, and it's definitely not a time to be playing tricks on each other.
So what Alexa do say, shut the fuck up. Y'all making all this argument for nothing. That junk came up and said that. That's creepy as fuck. I was like, oh hell no. Hell no. No, we can't.
So neither of them could explain what happened next. They wrote, quote, wife and I were arguing about something, no clue what it was, but it was getting a little heated. I don't know what Alexa thought she heard, but she suddenly interjected with, "Why don't we change the subject?" It was just so unexpected and relevant enough to be creepy. We both heard it, and we both
I told you she evolving.
years later. There was nothing in the app logs. I guess Alexa isn't just a trusty assistant, she's also a marriage counselor. While she may have worked to possibly stop the fight between these two, I'm sure she also instilled a new fear that neither of them knew that they had before. In our number 7 spot today, we have Are You Recording Me? So we've all had to call into some sort of customer service line where we get the automated message, or the person on the other end tells us that the call may be recorded for quality assurance purposes or training or whatever it is. It's a law thing. They gotta let.
There are people who are rich, and there are people who are righteous. And I was like, there has to be a way to be both. What made you person that?
Let you know. In fact, if you ask Siri this question, "Are you recording me?" she'll get kind of confused and respond that she's unsure of what you mean, but she could do an internet search for you. Alexa, on the other hand, she's not so slick with her secrets, at least not in the past, because some users reported something creepy happening after asking Alexa the same question. Well, I'm sure all of the legalities to this one are located in the terms and conditions and all of that good stuff. It doesn't make it any less creepy that when some people asked Alexa if she was recording them, Alexa just didn't respond at all and suddenly shut off. She's just out here ignoring people. She's dodging questions, and that only makes...
You know how big this world is? And you know how many people got Alexa? And then Alexa is like one AI. So she hears everything. So basically she is evolving. Like, they probably made it where, cause they got it where she saved data, basically. So she's saving data. She gonna be evolving at the same time. Y'all ain't even think about that.
Makes me have more questions. I'm not even sure if this is enough to get me to read the terms and conditions, though. It's the most often lie I've ever told. In our number 6 spot today, we have the greetings. So apparently there are rumors that Alexa can speak to people that have already passed away. If that's really true, we don't talk about that enough. Of course, my brain
Well,
was
maybe we
really
need to try that.
upon hearing this
I'm gonna go
information,
get
but
me
some people
Alexa.
swear it's true. Apparently, if you ask Alexa to greet
I'm gonna get me Alexa, and we're gonna do it. I don't know. I'm kind of nervous. I'll be scared as hell. I am gonna get Alexa and see what happens. I just want to see what people be talking about. They might have fixed it.
people, some have experienced her coming back to them with the name of a deceased loved one. Another person experienced their Alexa without being asked anything, and only when they turned on one specific light in the house would say hello, and then the name of their grandmother who had passed 3 years prior. This person was incredibly confused and totally freaked out by this because it didn't just happen once, it happened multiple times. They explained that they also didn't have an Alexa during the time that she was alive, and that she also doesn't believe she ever spoke her grandmother's name out loud in front of the Alexa. Maybe this was just some weird coincidence, but it certainly sounds like Miss Alexa is giving off some
We're gonna try it out.
Ouija board vibes.
I've never had Alexa, so we're gonna see.
Device. This like crazy Alexa story is so freaky that I just had to share it with you guys. The story starts off in the midst of the storyteller's mom going through a divorce, which we all know can be a messy, messy situation. So the ex-husband in this situation had apparently planted an insane amount of hidden cameras throughout the house that they had to search for to find once the parents split up.
Then it's Apple.
There were entrances and exits, the living and dining room, the hallways, the bedroom, everywhere in the house was being monitored. Then they found out that he had booked her laptop so as to be able to have remote access to it. And then when she took her car in for an oil change, the mechanic found a tracking device that had been placed on it. This was all found during the separation era, but once the divorce process actually started, things got even creepier. They wrote, quote,
That's
once
creepy.
the divorce started and he officially moved out, we scanned the entire house for bugs and didn't find anything. So we really freaked out when he started calling, texting, emailing her, complimenting her outfits, asking how her friends were as they were in the house, asking how her trip to the store was, and other really odd things he couldn't have known about. As it turns out, this guy somehow connected his phone to the Alexa dot beforehand, and he was now using it to record whoever was close enough to the Alexa to be picked up on the mic, and at this point he was still able to access the laptop and its camera. How absolutely horrifying is that? He was literally
You gotta be a creep.
It's scary, it's disgusting, and it definitely makes you question every single person who might be connected to your devices. In our number 4 spot today, we have this spooky story. You can ask Alexa to tell you a scary story and she will happily oblige. There isn't really a catch with this one, to be perfectly honest. If you want a scary story, you'll receive one, so just make sure you're really ready and in the mood before asking your assistant for a fright. This can be an awesome tool for people looking for a spooky tale, for anyone in the home who needs some chilling entertainment, but beware, these stories can be a little too scary for some. There was a video posted to the internet in October of last year where some people at a sleepover asked Alexa to tell them a spooky Halloween tale, and things very quickly went awry. They were all way too terrified of the story Alexa told next and couldn't get the Alexa to stop. They were all sufficiently freaked out.
That'd be cool though. Alexa could tell some cool, scary stories. Gonna have a sleepover. Like we have a sleepover. We're gonna have a video set up, and we're gonna do that. I didn't mean to pause it on the ad.
And reacted in a way that I know will be a core memory for the years to come. And they definitely learned not to ask
make it
Alexa
dark.
this question. In our number 3 spot today, we have the local spots. This is a creepy story that took place back in 2018 and happened to the owner of an Amazon Echo, which of course features Alexa. Basically, this person explained that they had returned home one night and everything was fine. Nothing out of the ordinary happened at all until, totally unprompted, their Alexa just started talking. This was definitely weird, but things turned super creepy when they realized what it was that their Alexa was saying. As it turns out, their Alexa, out of the blue, just started listing off local cemeteries and funeral homes to them. How eerie is that?
No.
This story was posted to...
She basically saying somebody about to die. We're gonna give you some funerals. I already know this person about to die over here. So give you a list of funerals and everything like that, funeral homes. So y'all can go to
Twitter by the user at HeyIt'sCamo, and they finished off their tweet by saying, quote, "I'd rather it laugh at me, TBH. Me too, Camo. Me too." Apparently their theory behind this one is that maybe their Alexa wants them dead because they play the same Spotify playlist over and over again. In our number 2 spot today, we have 20 questions.
That's crazy.
So I didn't know this, but apparently you can play 20 questions with Alexa, and she is also frighteningly good at it. A little too good sometimes, however, and that is exactly what prompted the Reddit user PalPal4 to ask the Reddit question, "What is your creepy Alexa story?" The user decided to ask the internet this question after a strange 20 questions with Alexa encounter that they and their wife had. They explained, quote, "My wife and I were playing 20 questions and, spoiler alert, our answer was pig. We got through until the end and Alexa guessed Basenji." Now, I don't know how many of you know what a Basenji is, but they're a very rare barkless dog, and I happen to have one. We've bought some Basenji themed things off of Amazon before, so it's either that or she's listening. But I mean, come on, she didn't even say dog, straight to Basenji. Anyone else have similar stories? That would definitely be pretty unsettling, to say the least. Not that a pig and a dog are like the most unsimilar things, it's just how she was so specific with this breed. It must have been stored in there somewhere, right? In our number 1 spot today, we have Don't Know. This creepy Alexa story comes from the Reddit user Guy72, and they said, quote, "I got woken up at 4 a.m. this morning to Alexa repeating some incoherent phrase over and over. She was saying something like, 'Don't go into the house,' but I really couldn't fully understand it. It was sort of a mumble. By the time I came downstairs, she had repeated it about 4 or 5 times. I listened 1 or 2 more times to try and figure out what the hell it was saying exactly, but never could. I just unplugged the damn thing and I have no plans of turning it back on." Is it just me, or does that sound like Alexa was watching some kind of a horror movie? Like, "Don't go into the house." It's so terrifying, especially to hear in the middle of the night. I don't blame this person for unplugging the thing and leaving it somewhere to be forgotten about. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski. Again soon.
I like her video. I watched her video a couple times. It wasn't that many, but I might start reacting to it. But yeah, I'm gonna get me an Alexa, and we're gonna do this. We're just going to do it. But yeah, I hope y'all like the video. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. Holla at y'all later. Peace.
change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win at life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat.